All right, let's get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Nikki, and I'm with Trustpilot. We're so excited to have you guys join us today for our webinar, Using Trust to Propel the Buyer Journey. If you have any questions for us during the webinar, just please feel free to use the chat window and write in your question. And if we have time at the end, we will make sure to get to your question. And if we don't have time, we'll make sure to follow up with you directly. So first, I'd like to introduce David Roston. He's the head of organic marketing at Dashlane, and our very own Lauren Lohman, who is a marketing manager here at Trustpilot. So David, I'll give it to you to start walking us through a little bit about Dashlane.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. Dashlane is a password manager for consumers and businesses. We've got about 5 million users, a little over, and we enabled a little over $5 billion in commerce from our digital wallet feature. And we're available on your phone, tablet, computer, just to store your passwords and sensitive information and automatically fill them into all the websites and accounts that you visit every day. And because of that, we really sell trust. It's the main thing that we're selling when we're trying to convince people to use our product. We know once they use it that they objectively find the experience better. All we need to do is make sure that they trust us before their purchase decision and throughout their purchase decision so that they make the choice to give us a try.
Great. Thanks, David. This is Lauren, and now I'll briefly talk a little bit about Trustpilot. Hopefully most of you are pretty familiar with us by now, but if you're not, we are a review community that helps businesses collect and publish reviews from their customers. Both consumers and businesses use Trustpilot, often come to trustpilot.com to research brands in order to make informed buying decisions. We were founded in 2007 in Copenhagen, and we now have over 17 million online reviews for 120,000 different businesses in over 65 different countries. One thing that I think is pretty cool is that we have our Trustpilot widgets have over 1 billion impressions a month via our partner sites, which is spreading third-party validated reviews with the world. So to briefly go through the agenda, we've already introduced Dashlane and Trustpilot. Next, we'll look at why trust matters to both consumers and businesses' buying decisions. Then I'll pass it over to David, who will show you how Dashlane conveys trust in the buyer's journey, and he'll show you some really awesome examples of how they leverage reviews and see ROI. David will then touch briefly on how Dashlane has used reviews to learn about their customers, and we'll wrap up with a few as time allows. So we've been lucky enough to work with Dashlane as a partner, and what's really unique about them is that they have both a consumer and business offering. What's awesome is that they've been committed to showing trust in the form of customer reviews to help both their consumers and businesses feel really good about their purchase decision and working with them. David will get into how they use reviews exactly to convey trust a little bit more later in the webinar. But first, let's take a look at how consumers and businesses purchase and why trust matters to them, starting with consumers. So for those of you who work for B2C companies, hopefully this looks familiar. There's typically 5 steps in the consumer's purchase journey, and it begins with need recognition. Once a consumer has recognized a need, they then move through the purchase funnel. So next with product specification, where they'll try to figure out what it is exactly that they want in a product or service. Next, they move to evaluation of options, where a lot of time is spent online researching different brands. And then is the next stage that we all probably love to focus on the most, which is the purchase decision, and last but not least, post-purchase. Below the funnel, we've pointed out some elements of the consumer's buying journey that make it a bit unique and a bit different than the B2B purchase journey. But what we want to show you, and the consistent thing here, is that reviews play an important role in every step of this buyer's journey. From influencing the product specification process and influencing what consumers think they want in a product, to ultimately driving the final purchase decision. So while reviews probably aren't foreign concept to most consumer brands, we want to share some data to show just how big of a role they play. At this point, consumers have come to expect to find reviews about B2C brands, and without being able to find reviews, most consumer brands stand little chance of being considered at all. In fact, 90% of consumers say buying decisions are influenced by online reviews, and 72% of consumers will take action after reading a positive review, which shows how impactful reviews can be to driving overall conversions. Customers are likely to spend 31% more with the business after seeing an excellent review, which shows that displaying reviews where consumers can find them easily will increase your average order value and grow revenue. For B2B businesses, the purchase journey is actually pretty similar. So if you've been paying attention, you'll see that this slide actually looks pretty familiar. After B2B buyers are still people. So the process is going to be pretty similar, but again, we've noted some exceptions or things that make it unique down below. And the biggest differences are in a business's purchase decision or purchase process is that there's often more people involved in that journey, and the price or cost of the product or service is often a lot higher, which makes the purchase journey a bit longer, or the overall sales cycle lasts a little bit longer. But the same thing still holds true about reviews. You can count on B2B buyers to look for third-party validation online, and because of the higher costs and how many people their decision affects, reviews and third-party validation are that much more important. They want to feel really good about the decision they're making, and it's going to be a fruitful partnership for a good amount of time. While B2B sellers are still getting used to adopting online reviews, B2B buyers are already looking for reviews about your company. So whether or not you're actively collecting and displaying reviews, people are probably looking for them. 78% of B2B buyers begin their evaluations online with web search, and 60% of those B2B buyers are searching online for reviews about your company. 65% of buyers indicate that a winning vendor's content heavily influenced their decision, and that content is often going to be bottom-of-funnel materials like testimonials, reviews, case studies, just depending on if they're making that purchase decision online or via a salesperson. So now that we've talked through how customers are making purchase decisions, whether you work at a B2C or B2B business, we'll pass it off to David to explain the difference in their business and consumer offerings and how they convey trust to their different target audiences and ultimately use reviews to drive business and grow their business.
Thank you. So as you see on the slide, Dashlane takes in all of your passwords and your identification and your online IDs, passports, credit cards, and it stores them in one safe place so that you can organize them so you don't have to go to that Post-it note, that spreadsheet, or wherever you currently keep your passwords. And it lets you have all of those at your fingertips no matter what device you're using right now. So it's available on your phone, you have them on your tablet, you have them on your home computer, you have them on your work computer. And to make sure that your passwords are really strong rather than just the same one used over and over with incremental numbers and maybe the $sign appended to it, they're truly random, we remember them and autofill them for you. And that's really the only way a person can remember more than, say, 8 truly strong passwords at a time. So how do we convey this trust to a customer? If you think about how I just told you that we organize all of your sensitive information in one place. As you can imagine, the very first question we get is, can I trust it? Is it secure? And of course, the user expects us to say yes, so we need something more powerful. So we collect reviews on using Trustpilot. It's important for us to let our users speak for us, but it's also important to use a third party and to use the most trusted third party for us, which is why we chose Trustpilot, because people who want to know if they can trust us are perhaps initially skeptical, and having that third party organize and collect the reviews for us really means a lot to our customer. And then it's not only important to have those reviews, but it's critical for us to make them available. We put them everywhere. We put them in our ads, we put them on our landing pages, we put them in our emails, so it's consistent. If you can't find all these reviews and all these people saying wonderful things about us, and if we can't find the people who are saying bad things about us to fix it, then this process doesn't work. For our business offering, it's much the same as our consumer offering. If you've ever shared a password at work, or if you've ever forgotten the password to your email program or to any other tool you use at work, then you're probably a pretty good candidate for using Dashlane at your business. If you're a manager who ever wanted to know, are my employees' passwords actually safe, and are they securing the data and accounts that we have in our business, then you probably would appreciate the middle graphic here, which is our reporting dashboard to answer that exact question for you. And if you are like me and you use some of your work accounts at home and work, and you definitely use, say, your personal phone to transact some work business or for your work email, this allows me to have stronger passwords both at home and work under one platform. But what is the difference in how we convey trust when we sell to a business versus a consumer? Like Lauren said, we find that it's very similar because business decision makers are people, and they're buying for people. They're buying things, tools, products, services that enable their employees or their investors or their own customers. So the personal element to reviews really makes a powerful statement when we sell and when we close business. And I think that all it takes is maybe some simple positioning. Instead of saying, hey, here's a review, maybe it's a testimonial, maybe it's a case study of sorts that's really easy to consume and understandable to a business person who is also making decisions based on their own personal trust levels. So I'm going to go into the ways that we deployed Trustpilot and the results that we've seen, and give everybody some ideas about what they can try and maybe some at least directional results that they may try to achieve from using reviews and Trustpilot. First, we're going to do a quick poll, and if you can answer on your computer as soon as this poll comes up. How many of you currently run search advertising campaigns right now? So if you can just check yes or no, or if you don't know, select don't know, and we'll show everybody the results in just a moment. All right, so I briefly saw it looked like 91%. Okay, there you go. So outstanding. That means that the next thing that we're going to go through is going to be highly relevant to you. Because the first test we did was at the very top of our funnel. When somebody searches for Password Manager, in our mind, there is no reason whatsoever they should not be using Dashlane. It's simply a wonderful product. Now, there is one reason they might not use Dashlane, and that's that it's really hard to stand out in all of the organic and paid search results. So what we did is when we implemented Trustpilot, we sent out a survey asking customers, just a sampling of our customer base, to review us, and in about 20 days we had enough reviews to qualify to have Google index those results, and then just by adding a rich snippet to our ads, automatically those results were ported into our advertisements on Google. So you see the 4.7 with the stars beside it. And not only is it great to display a really good result because we get very high reviews, and that probably helps our conversion significantly, but also it just makes it stand out, and it's universally understood. Stars mean good, and Dashlane has stars, and that level of trust communication, just that symbol of trust, increased our click-through rates 93%, which at our volume easily paid for the effort we put in, which was pretty minimal, and Trustpilot, and gave us a really good start to our campaign. And as you'll see through some of our next slides, we chose to, this kind of gave us the energy to really start putting it in many, many more places. So all of our ads go to unique landing pages so that you're not just getting a random website page, you're getting a page that matches what you just saw, and hopefully we have some continuity between our messaging in the ad you see and our messaging on the next page you see after you click, and that's exactly what this landing page is about. So here we put the Trustpilot stars again, showing our review. So it's not only important to have that right beside the download button. You can't get any closer to the point of decision when they're saying, do I download, do I not? And it's really important for a product like ours when you're downloading software. A prospect is asking themselves, is this malware? Is this bloatware? Can I trust them? Is it hard to use? Is it easy to use? And we answer that question as close to the button as possible, but equally important, we continue the message. You saw these stars in our ad, that's one of the reasons you clicked. We're going to show them to you again to make sure that you understand that customer reviews are important to us. We'll put them everywhere. We will let you read transparent customer reviews at every step because we believe in them and they're true. So we saw a 14% lift in conversion on this landing page after adding the Trustpilot stars. One of the next things that we noticed, a lot of people don't automatically click an ad. A lot of people see an ad or see an organic result or somebody tells them and they want to do research on their own. Our website is full of copy that assures people how safe we are, how trusted we are, and how well our product works. But most savvy customers want to hear it from someone else, and they look to third-party reviews. And our Trustpilot page has really become that for us. So people can go here, they can see the reviews, the good, the bad, the misspelling, the very human reviews, and they can decide for themselves. The wonderful thing is that most of these reviews answer any question that a customer is having. Is it easy? We have tons of reviews that say it's easy. Is it safe and secure? We have other reviews that say it's safe and secure. So it really lets our advocates be a voice for us. And we see that a little over 12%, 12.5% click-through rate on this page coming to Dashlane. And then once those people get to Dashlane, of course, they're much more likely to convert because they've already built up some level of trust with us. And then once they do get to our page, this is our home page. And it's a very tested page, and it's something that we constantly try to optimize. So seeing a 4.3% increase in downloads is a pretty big mark for us in downloads, and it makes a really big difference. I think we tested several of the widgets. The reason we tested several widgets is just to see the best placement, and the widget is what you see here in front of you, just the excellent and the 5-star drop down underneath the Trustpilot stars, and they have several other varieties that we can implement to show off our reviews in various placements. This is the one we ended up using as the winner because of a few things. One, it's right below the button again, and if you just want a symbolic assurance, 5 clearly understood right at the point of clicking and becoming a user, that's all you need. But if you'd like to get to know a little bit more and read what people have to say and say, now, what's behind these reviews, then you get to drop down and scroll through reviews, and they're real reviews imported dynamically. We drop that widget in with just a brief snippet of code, and it's up and running. And the wonderful thing about it is that a customer that we want to keep on this page doesn't have to go externally to the third party to get the third party reviews right at point of decision. The next thing we do is we really carry this deep into a life cycle of our customers. We send out an email we try not to be a discount-based company, so we don't offer a program that customers can always say, well, they'll discount it soon. But when we do, it's a really important growth driver for us. We are a freemium product, so it's free to use for unlimited passwords. But if you want to sync from device to device, then you need to buy our subscription, our annual subscription product. These emails drive a lot of those annual subscriptions, so they're very, very tested and optimized. And we had gotten pretty stagnant in our ability to optimize them anymore. And when we added the Trustpilot reviews underneath them, it increased our click-through rate by 1%. And this is incredibly significant because this is at the point of payment and it was off of an already optimized email. I think it's really important. It worked because we put the reviews right under the button so that people could see them plainly, clearly. But it was also important that this was not the first time these people saw and recognized these trust symbols and these reviews, because we were now starting to show them throughout their life cycle. After purchase, we address 100% of 1- and 2-star reviews. We usually reach out by email if we know that customer or can identify the customer, and we try to resolve their issue. And then we ask them politely to see if they would like to change their review. And often they do, which is a really great story to tell. It's great for our business, but it's also great to tell our story. Hey, Dashlane, I had this issue, but they came in and they solved it in a second. Geely from user support is fantastic. These kinds of things are often even better than a positive review because you really believe a negative experience turned good. And I think that those are really powerful. We also reach out sometimes to say thank you for people who do give us good reviews. It's good interaction and it shows that we're present. And if you ask yourself, will there be support after purchase? The answer is very clearly yes through Trustpilot. And then another way, we don't just pay attention to our lower reviews, we really pay attention to our higher reviews, and we use those people as our advocates. Maybe you've had a press item, some coverage, some PR, or a really important social media post, and you wish you could get people to like it, retweet it, promote it, upvote it. And we had one of those recently with a big launch of Dashlane 4 in January. We were featured on a site called Product Hunt, which is to vote up really innovative technologies of the day or week and launches. And it's the kind of thing that in our industry really gives you a ton of visibility and traffic. So we send an email out to all our Trustpilot really brand advocates from our co-founder, and he said, this is what's happened. We just launched and we've gotten some great coverage, and if you would like, check out our featuring on Product Hunt, and if you like what we've done, feel free to vote for us. And it worked. Of course, this little army of advocates we have at our fingertips now voted us up to the top of the page, and we got a lot of exposure from it, getting somewhere around 400 or so votes out of it, which was really impactful to our launch. The last thing I'm going to go over is how we don't just use these as conversion tactics. We really learn from them and integrate them. So we'll do another really quick poll, and then we'll look at those results and cover the last point here today, and you can ask questions after that. So right now, do you use your customers' own words and phrases when you're crafting your marketing messages or your value proposition? Just give a quick answer, often, sometimes, never, or don't know, and we'll take a look. All right. So it seems like a lot of you actually do this, which is great. And for those of you that either don't or don't know, that's just fine, because I think that if you're considering something like the campaigns that we're doing with Trustpilot and with third-party reviews, it's really a way to kickstart that and make it a lot easier to do. I think I might not be able to advance the slide. Okay, thank you. So we do integrate our customers' language very much into our marketing. And you see our tagline here, the world's best password manager and secure digital wallet. These are the words that we hear our customers using to describe our product. And we've tried many different things, and we never get it as right as our customers do. We're so immersed in our product and our technology that it's often hard for us to understand how customers communicate it to themselves or to each other. But when we listen and we read reviews, you see that they use the same words over and over. And then we start to use those words. As an example, forgetting another password, maybe we once thought that it was about getting really, really strong passwords, but I think that to a user, they just forget them all the time. Maybe they forget them because they have to be so complicated. Maybe they forget them because they have so many accounts. But the first thing, the trouble that they're facing, the solution they want, is to not forget them anymore. So we started saying that. So you don't have to forget them. You keep track, and we automatically do this for you. And the really nice thing is this is a virtuous cycle. So we put their words into our value proposition, and then we hear them start to repeat those words, and we know we're doing our jobs and we're really reaching them and communicating. So the closer and closer we can get our words to what we're seeing in the reviews, the better. And we use that as a real test to see how we're doing when we're communicating and making sure that we're communicating how our customer is understanding things. So that was the last of my comments.
Okay, thanks so much, David. So hopefully, as you guys can see, Dashlane is doing some really awesome things with reviews and leveraging them throughout the entire buyer's journey to help convert new customers. We hope these examples provided some inspiration on how you can optimize your marketing campaigns, whether it's paid search or email marketing. And next, we'll open it up to questions, and Nikki will select the first one.
Yeah, so we only have time for one question, but we'll follow up with the rest of you via email. So the question is, David, are you currently tracking how many 1- and 2-star reviewers end up deemed resolved and end up being advocates?
We do track it, but we use these reviews at a little more personal level. So we aren't concerned so much with 40% end up doing ABC. We make sure that we address 100% of those, and then after that it's pretty variable between the user, and we know how many internally that we have converted into resolved issues. We know how many that we convert into advocates, and we know how many we address but don't get any response. So the truth of the matter is, with our 1 and 2 stars, often they're very bad. So they fall into mainly the ignored us because they weren't receptive, and those are probably 30 to 40% of our really negative reviews, and we just don't have that many of them, luckily. And then probably another 30% turn into advocates, and then the rest we resolve, but they never come back and advocate for us or change their reviews.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, David, and thank you so much, Lauren. Like we said, we'll follow up with the rest of your questions via email, and if you think of any other questions, feel free to email us, and we will also be sending out a recording of this webinar as well as a slide share. So thank you so much for everyone who attended. Bye.